Do institutions dealing with mysterious incidents really exist, brothers? Today's story comes from the secret netizen Zhejiang on the 26th of April, 2016. Kaiangzi's troops were stationed in Zhejiang, Zhejiang, for training. Because this garrison training was required to be carried out secretly, the troops were directly stationed in the depths of the dense forest. The first thing in the future was, naturally, to build tents. The requirements in the team were relatively strict, and all the tents must be neat and uniform. After the instructor designated an area in the dense southeast corner, the monitors of each class began to take people to level the land. When the soldiers of the third squads found two lonely graves that looked very old when leveled the land, at that time, a soldier named Zhejiang went to the monitor to discuss that we didn't retreat 5 meters to avoid the lonely grave, but this is not allowed in the army, and a leader will come to check it immediately. So the monitor saw that some people did not dare to dig with the squad leader, and the two of them did it themselves. At this time, strange things happened. When the two people flattened the two graves, they saw a burst of white smoke coming out of the graveyard. At that time, everyone was quite shocked. After all, they had never seen the smoke in the cemetery. After the monitor scolded and scolded, the white smoke disappeared, and the matter was over. As a result, that night, when the monitor and the squad mate were sleeping, they were pressed into bed by ghosts. For 3 consecutive days, the situation was the same. In his sleep, a man without facial features is straightforward. When he is pressed down, 2 people can't move or shout. It was not until the morning of the 29th that the instructor found the monitor that his family called the company, and his mother broke her leg while mopping the floor. After the monitor learned about this situation, he abnormally rushed to the position of the grave that day and scolded, and he said, "If you come to me, don't mess with my family." It's because of this matter that netizens were very curious that they found the deputy of class 3, who had a good relationship with him, and only learned that the 2 people had been pressed in bed in a row. But the strong man didn't believe this at that time. However, something happened on the morning of the 30th. Everyone should have seen the backpack rope that packed the bedding during the march. The green rope was a little wide. On the morning of the 30th, in the dense forest in the northwest corner of their station, the third squad leader hanged a tall tree with a backpack rope. Strangely, there was no climbable support under his feet, and the scene looked more like he had been hung on it. As soon as this happened, everyone frowned. But this is not over. On the morning of the 1st of May, the squad mate disappeared, and several classes looked for it together. Finally, in the tree where the monitor hanged himself and then into the dense forest inside, the upper part of the deputy monitor was found. After reporting to the superior, more than 200 people searched carpets. However, I searched all the places I could find, but I couldn't find the second half of the deputy monitor. There were 2 vicious incidents, which made the top anxious. It was not until the morning of the 4th of May, when the netizen Kaiangzi got the instructions of the guide to go to a station with him to pick up people. After arriving at the place, he received 4 men, 2 young people. 2 young people were about their 20s, one in his 40s, and an old man with white temples. 2 of them, 2 young people dressed like a strong man, and the other 2 men were dressed in the civil servants and could not be seen. After the 4 people got on the bus, they didn't say a word. The instructor wanted to introduce them several times. A few people only knew it, and there was no need to introduce them. Then he closed his eyes and refreshed. At the same time, the instructor arranged another truck and purchased a truckload of yellow paper, following their car. After arriving at the station, the strong man interestingly helped the old man carry the bag, so he heard the communication process of several people. The old man told the instructor that the situation was already known here. Next, you will only cooperate, take action at 8 p.m., and the exact situation is not clear. It was just that almost 8 p.m., the instructor and 4 soldiers, including Kaiangzi, came to the northwest dense forest where the accident happened. The location of the dense forest had pulled up a red rope. After waiting for a moment, the 4 people in the group came to the red rope, asked the instructor and Kaiangzi and others to retreat for a distance, and instructed the instructor to enter the red rope and directly for his peanuts. Subsequently, the four people walked into the scope of the red rope, and the next thing subverted the strong man's cognition. At that time, they were at least 100 meters away from the red rope. Nevertheless, people can clearly hear a sad scream from the dense forest, and it is not a person's scream, as if there were many people screaming. At the same time, there is a very dazzling light in the dense forest, and the color of the light is constantly changing. Sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's red, and suddenly purple. Well, this light and scream lasted until about 3 a.m. before slowly disappearing. The four people came out at about 3:30 a.m. and told the instructor that they were all solved. Send someone to clean it up and pay attention to a marching backpack. At that time, the instructor asked the strong son to send them away, but the four people refused. After saying that, the four people left directly. Well, at dawn in the morning, the instructor arranged for some people to enter the northwest corner, including the hadster, which was covered with paper and dust. Among the nearby grass, there is a marching backpack. Well, everyone must have guessed what's inside. That's all for the whole thing. Later, the monitor and squad mate also received some compensation. We will not comment on the existence of mysterious institutions, but I believe that everyone must want him to exist. Pay attention to me, and there will be more wonderful content presented to you.